Say it again?
Big game, yes?
This week?
Yeah.
It's a Week 11 game. It's no bigger and no less than the last 10 games that we've had, and that's I know the media perception and the fan perception and what this game means, but for us it's just Week 11 for us.
You go.
The last 4 games you guys have played, I think they've been all one-score games. Why is it that you two, I mean, we know that 2 good teams play, but why do these 2 teams play such close games?
I think, it's, you look at their squad, their roster, the sustained success that they've had. Obviously, I think it starts top down with them, their head coach, their quarterback, their defensive coordinator, guys that are all really, really dang good at what they do. Anytime you're going against a quarterback like Pat, you got to make sure that on the offensive side of the ball, you're doing everything right. So, again, that's all we're trying to do is just have a good week of practice and then just try to go out there and execute against a really good defense on Sunday.
It's just Week 11. We were talking to Sean about that mindset too, and he was saying how it's important for the team to have some normalcy during a week like this. How do you see that? Like, why is it important to have kind of just a normal week?
I mean, just continuing to trust the process, not changing anything, because there's no need to. What we're doing in-house here, the way that we're practicing, the way that we're talking to each other, we're just going to keep trusting that. It's gotten us to 8-2 thus far. We're always looking to improve and get better, but we're not going to try to change everything we're doing for another game. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just trying to execute the offense at the highest potential that I can and trusting what Joe's calling and going out there with the other 10 guys on the field and trusting them and just trying to put our best foot forward.
Back on the practice field, different side of the ball, but what does that mean to your team? Do you feel that boost in the locker room?
Absolutely. Can't commend him enough for how he's handled the situation, the type of leader that he's been inside our locker room. Obviously, he's been traveling on away trips and staying in the ears of guys, and to have that type of veteran leadership again for a guy that's been through quite a bit the last couple of years, injury-wise, and never has he put his head down or said "poor me." He's continued to work extremely hard. I'm very excited for his return because he deserves it.
Stands out about Steve Spagnuolo's defensive style, and is this a harder week for you, pass protection-wise, preparation?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a great job of switching the looks that they're giving. Obviously, we know about Chris Jones. He's a game wrecker, one of the best, if not the best, interior D linemen in the game right now. You pair that up with some of their DBs and linebackers. They're flying all over the field. They got guys that are really gap sound in the run game as well. So, again, we're going to have our hands full. It's a very good unit that we're about to face, and we're just trying to have a good week of practice and go out there and execute on Sunday.
You break a huddle and you hope that the defense brings a blitz.
I mean, yeah, you call certain plays sometimes to try to entice them to bring something, and that's just, I guess, game planning 101, and I think Joe's been doing a good job with that this year. And, still early in the week, it's Wednesday, haven't gotten to third downs, haven't gotten to red zone or anything like that yet, and that'll be later today in the next couple days. So, again, just trusting what we're seeing, trusting our base rules. When you play a team that does so many different things and they do it well, you have to kind of rely on what you did in training camp and trusting your base rules. And, you have to remember a lot of things when you're on the football field, from O-line to receivers to tight ends to running backs to me, and making sure we're on point with our calls and, again, just making sure we're all on the same page.
Just bumping into other players in the offseason. You bump into Mahomes this offseason?
This offseason I didn't. No. Actually, we saw each other quick spot golfing. He usually plays in that American Century golf tournament in Tahoe every year. He didn't do it this year, but got to see Trav. So we've spent a few days around each other in the last few off seasons. Got so much respect for both those guys, but Pat, especially the way he handles himself off the field, and we all know what type of player he is when he's on the field. So he's one of the great ones.
What do you say if you look at your numbers in head-to-head meetings between you and Patrick, they're virtually the same. What is that and they're very good. What does that say about the two? Maybe.
Well, I know we haven't beat them in the playoffs, so that's the only thing that kind of matters.
Take it as every other game's the same, all the same. 7 years in the league, that would seem to be easier to think that way and do that way. Did you have to learn that in this league, and did people help you to say, hey, this game is like every other game, no matter who you were meeting or who you were playing?
I mean, it's just when you come out from college, used to be, I guess, every game mattered in college. I didn't go to a big school, so that didn't really matter to me. So I guess I was ahead of the curve. But typically when guys come out of college and they get here and every game is the biggest game, and which is the way that we approach it. Every game is the biggest game because it's the next one. But again, times to press, times not to press. Knowing when to do that obviously was a learned trait, and being able to see that from guys in front of me, whether it was Derek Anderson or learning from vets, Kyle Williams, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, things of that guys of that nature who've been in this league for a long time and have played at a high level. So again, just talking and trusting what they're saying and what they're talking about, and then again, just relying on the leadership with Coach McDermott and our offensive coordinators.
Now you're one of those guys. How much does that have to be with the young? Because you got some young guys that have not been through a game while they're all the same that's getting this much attention, playing the Super Bowl champs. Do you have to, and the other vets have to relay that to those players, or do you think they know it already?
I mean, I think they get the sense of how our locker room operates and the guys that we have in there. Again, I think got a lot of young guys that are very smart, and they see what's going on in front of them. So don't have to worry too much about it, but it's not the worst thing to give them a friendly reminder.
Mike, have you talked to him this season at all, and checking in with him and his thoughts on your guys' 8-2 start?
I've talked to him a little bit. Checked in with him a little bit. Love that guy, and I don't know what you want me to say there, but
just kind of like, he was such a big part of things for so long, and he said the only team he would come back to play for is the Bills. And just checking in and that kind of out there if he might come back eventually.
Yeah, I mean that would be great, but depending on I don't know what you want me to say. I don't have any thoughts or ways about it. I think our guys are, especially on the defensive side of the ball, are playing really fantastic football right now. But if there was an opportunity that arose to have them back, I think everybody in this locker room would welcome with open arms.
What do you like about what Mac Collins has done? He had another good game against Indianapolis.
Yeah, I've said this for a while. He's kind of the unsung hero of this offense. The mentality that he has, goes in there and blocks for receivers. He blocks for running backs. He's going there and blocking linebackers, safeties, corners, doing whatever he's asked to do. And then when the ball's been going his way, he's been catching it. And we're just we're happy to have him. Very fortunate to play with a guy like that. He's got so much juice and so much energy, and it's infectious for our entire team.
What makes Kansas City's run defense so good?
Well, again, I think they're smart football players. I think Spags dials up really good pressures in run situations. But I guess it comes down to the Jimmies and Joes, the guys that they got in that front in their linebacker core. They play extremely hard. They play to the whistle. It's a very, very well coached group.
In the defense, Taryn being named AFC Defensive Player for the first time in his career, just what does he mean to the defense?
Oh, he's been fantastic. We've known this for a long time. We've got the best star in the league, and he proves it each and every day at practice, the way he communicates with the defense. But again, he's just a guy that's always been consistent. We've been here together for our entire careers. So again, very fortunate to play with a guy like him. And he's a great guy. He really is. I think off the field that guys can feel the love that he has for his teammates. He's always a joy to be around.
When it comes to adaptability and your adaptability to what is presented and what your offense's strengths and weaknesses are, how would you assess that this season so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think still would like to complete the ball at a higher percentage. Turned it over the last couple games a few too many times. But again, sitting here at 8-2, trying not to get complacent with just that record, and we're trying to focus more on the process than the results. And there's things that we're doing each and every week trying to improve, whether it's how I'm throwing the ball mechanically, where I'm putting the ball for our receivers, watching as much film as possible so I can have really good communication and conversations with Joe and RC and just try to make sure that our offense is running at a high level.
Mahomes becoming an annual thing, and obviously, like you said, one game at a time. I know that's your approach. Is there any moment as someone who appreciates the game and the significance of these matchups that you like? Maybe once you're there, the game, like the magnitude of games like this, and of you and Mahomes obviously on opposite ends going against each other.
Yeah, I think again to be mentioned with him. Obviously, he's a 3-time Super Bowl winner, multiple-time MVP. Plays the game at such a high level, does some of the things that you don't see anybody else do. So to be mentioned with him is very cool from the football aspect of it. But I don't really get caught up in that too much. I just try to focus what I can do for the Buffalo Bills. Thank you guys.